Well, hey guys. Good evening. It is John C. Morley here, serial entrepreneur. It is great to be with you here on the Inspirations for Your Life show. If this is your very first time joining me, I want to take the opportunity to say thank you. And of course, I want to say welcome. If you've been here one time, two times, three times, four times, or a million times or more, I want to take the opportunity to say thank you. And of course, I want to say welcome back. It's always great to have people that enjoy the quality and content of the show that I produce with the intentionalism that I put through to help us all become better versions of ourselves. If you guys are thirsty, feel free to go grab yourself an RO water. Like I have a beautiful one here with lemon. Lemon and RO water go really well. I also have some almonds. Almonds are supposed to be very good for you. Pretty tasty. All right, if you're hungry, go grab something. Come on back. We'll start the show. If you have been here before or not, don't forget to check out believemeachieve.com. You can learn so much. Not only that, but you can check out my new book, Drained to Driven, by visiting there. You can get my 6x9 hardcover version, the Kindle version, or you can get the Audible version, which just released a few days ago. All right, guys, without any further ado, let's go ahead and kick this show off. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Inspirations for Your Life. In case you guys didn't know, if you were on the right channel, when direction changes, because truth gets revealed. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Series 5, Show 18, Episode number 2. And this episode, ladies and gentlemen, of Inspiration for Your Life with myself, John C. Morley, serial entrepreneur, engineer, marketing specialist, video producer, podcast host, keynote speaker, graduate student, passionate lifelong learner. And now, ladies and gentlemen, I'm so grateful and proud to say that I am a published author. And I'm exploring how direction changes when truth is revealed through awareness, listening, and higher guidance rather than force or constant action. I know a lot of people that want to rock the boat. They want to force things. And the reason they do this is because they panic. They think that if they push things that they can just do whatever they want, but that's not really the truth, guys. So we have to live intentional lives. I think that's a very important point. And when you understand that, that's when you start to really embrace life. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is about realizing that direction is not always created through effort. A lot of people think, oh, I got to spend hours working harder. No, that's actually just going to turn you down and basically burn you out. But revealed through clarity is what happens. So let's get right into our first point. All right, everyone, that is number one. Number one is direction begins with listening. That's what we were given by our Creator, 2 wonderful ears. Direction begins with listening. Awareness comes before the action settles in, okay? Awareness is that subtleness that we a lot of times miss that can keep us on our path or take us off our path. And so these are important things to realize. Number 2, guys, silence carries clarity. Answers exist without noise. I think that's important to understand. Noise is basically another word for saying the word distraction. Distractions. Okay. That's a very, very important thing to know. So, ladies and gentlemen, number 3, guidance is rarely loud. Yeah, it's not somebody with a big bull or megahorn saying, insight is subtle. And it actually is. Insight is very subtle. So we need to be aware of that and not expect it to be something like a grand gesture or something broadcasted like at Yankee Stadium. Number 4, awareness requires a certain stillness. Noise blocks understanding. And I think when we understand that, I'm going to have another one of these almonds. They're supposed to be very good for you. And while I'm eating these, I just was curious, health benefits of almonds. Let's see what they are. So almonds are highly nutritious, providing a dense source of vitamin E, magnesium, healthy monosaccharide fats, and a fiber which promotes heart health. Wow. Weight management and improved skin. Very cool. Our regular consumption helps lower your bad LDL cholesterol, stabilizing blood sugar levels, reducing inflammation, and improving your gut health. Okay. So I guess we should all eat more almonds. Number 5, internal signals matter most. External noise distorts the truth. That's the truth. Number 6, truth interrupts distraction. Confusion breaks under awareness. When we become aware of even the most subtle things, magic happens. Number 7, guys, clarity appears in reflection. Insight comes in pauses. And number 8, timing is everything. Understanding how it unfolds gradually, I think, is the real secret of life. We can't expect everything to just pop at us like overnight or in seconds. I think that's why a lot of people miss success, because they're waiting for something to be now, when it's not about now, it's about a gradual knowing. Number 9, guys, not all answers are immediate. I'm sorry, guys. You don't press a button and get an answer like at a computer. Patience is required. These almonds are very tasty. I haven't had them in a while, but I'm definitely going to eat almonds more. They're really good for you. All right, number 10, direction requires trust. Certainty is not required, guys. Certainty is not required to move forward. Number 11, resistance will block your insight. You have resistance, you're going to miss the awareness. You're going to miss the potential that could help you gain success. Ego interferes with clarity. If we have an ego, it's best to leave that ego at the door. I'm just being honest. If we don't leave the ego at the door, a lot is going to happen, and we're going to be trying to be, well, who's better? And the two sides are going to fight with each other, and that's not good. Number 12, guys. Number 12 is listening changes outcomes, and attention shifts the results. So these are important things to realize. Listening changes the outcome because we actually become aware and clear of what's expected and what somebody's saying or doing. Attention to that, which is an awareness, will shift the result. Not immediately, but it will change our perception and our position on something pretty quickly. All right? But not overnight. Let me say that. So, number 13, intuition does strengthen decisions, and internal signals guide better than the external ones. It's something about our internal gut that allows us to be grounded. All right? Maybe you've taken your shoes off before. Maybe you've gone outside. And when you've gone outside, maybe you wanted to actually put your, let's say, feet on the ground, but your bare feet on the ground. And that's a pretty interesting thing when that actually happens, to put your feet on the ground. All right. That's a very important thing. It feels really good. Number 14, guys, patience. Yeah. Patience reveals the truth. Rushing hides understanding. People that rush are doing it intentionally because they don't want you to see the truth. People that are trying to just slide by you so quickly, they don't want you to know the truth. They don't want you to wake up to it. So they're hoping that they can basically slither by you and trick or connive you so they can get what they want out of you before you realize what they're doing. Number 15, guys, guidance challenges logic. It does. Insight is not linear. As much as we think it is, it's not. Guidance can be all over the path. And again, I think a lot of people get frustrated because they're like, well, where the heck are we going? What are we doing now? What is the universe trying to tell me? I think a lot of times we have to embrace that quiet stillness within us. And then we get this knowingness that something's going to change. We get an insight. We get a thought. We get an idea. And then we need to respond or react to those thoughts. They're inspired thoughts. Number 16, guys, noise hides distraction. Okay? And what I mean by that is, if it hides the distraction, it's causing something to change. So when I say noise hides distraction, it's still causing our brain to loop, but it's not allowing us to be aware of what's going on, so it just happens. So distraction reduces awareness within us, and that's a problem. Number 17, guys, stillness improves clarity. Every time. Quietness sharpens the perception. When we are quiet, when we are still, when we are in the moment, ladies and gentlemen, it's like we get this this thought, we get this potential that things are possible. We start to realize that maybe what we're doing is wrong, or maybe we're slightly off track or slightly off balance. But just being quiet for a few moments can allow us to settle the chattering monkeys in our head and allow us to just be. When's the last time that you were able to just be? Probably never, or probably a long time ago. But this is a key to us being healthy. Now, I don't mean healthy in the sense of, good heart and things like this. I mean healthy in the sense of our whole body connecting together, right? Of course, it can reduce stress, but what I'm really talking about is that our body is staying grounded. Number 18, guys, realignment requires humility. Correction begins with openness. When you approach someone and they're doing something wrong and you give them feedback based on their behavior, not on them as a person, you say, Joe, you're doing a great job. And we just need to change some of the behaviors that are going on. I think you're great. And when we attract it or we position it like that, people become less defensive. Now, of course, some people may be still going to be defensive, but we need to appreciate it that way. Okay? Appreciate it that way. And I know that seems hard for a lot of people, but it's the truth. Number 19, guys, awareness will always shift our behavior. If you're outside and suddenly you're focusing on the breeze, or maybe you're focusing on the waterfall, or maybe you're paying attention to just the rustling of the leaves as you're walking. This does something to us. It causes a shift in our perception and it changes our action that we're going to take next. Now, it might not seem like this is going to go anywhere, but when we shift one of our thoughts, our mindset, it's like we recalibrate the inputs going into our body. And I was talking about this before, which is combinational logic. When we give a circuit two inputs, if we give them the same inputs, just for argument's sake, let's say I give it a 1 and a 0, and this circuit always will output, it's an AND circuit that will always output a 0. If I give it a 1 to 1, it'll always output a 1. If we change the inputs, so it's 1 and 0, now I get a 0 output. And I think those are important things to understand, is that one little change, just like a bit in the computer, can change the entire outcome. So can the awareness of our mind and body change our trajectory towards success. Number 20, guys, insight arrives unexpectedly. Clarity is not scheduled. I'm sorry. It is not scheduled. It happens by us becoming grounded in who we are and what we are doing every single day of our life. That's important, guys. Every single day. I didn't say one day. I said every single day. If you knew right now that you could change an awareness, and by doing that, that could affect the level of your success, I want to ask you right now, would you do it? Now, here's the kicker. You could do it, but it's not going to be easy because you know why? It's going to be uncomfortable, not painful, but it's going to be uncomfortable. And when something's uncomfortable, we pause, we hesitate. We pause, we hesitate. And we do this because we're scared. We don't know what's around that corner. We don't know if we're going to like it. We don't know if we're going to hate it. We don't know if we even can do it. But one thing we know is it's going to happen if we make a change. So that scares some people. Number 21, truth appears in patterns. Huh. That's an interesting predicament. Repetitions reveal meaning. Repetitions reveal meaning. I bet you never thought about it that way. When something keeps popping up in your life, whether it's 911 or 1111, these synchronicities are not random. They are connected to something going to change in your life. Number 22, guys, misalignment becomes obvious. Imbalance will surface when the misalignment is obvious. And maybe you're saying to me, John, well, I don't know about that. Maybe you're saying that, but maybe you're also saying, I don't know. And the reason I'm saying you don't know is you're scared about what could happen and what may not happen, right? That's a very important thing. Okay. A very, very important thing. It's something that I believe a lot of people shy away from. And they shy away from it because they don't believe that they have the skills, the traits, and the attributes they need to succeed. The truth of the matter is, everyone has these attributes. It's just, do we want to activate them right now? Again, it's not going to be comfortable. It's going to become uncomfortable. So I've said we got to get comfortable being uncomfortable. Number 23, guys, correction improves path adjustment as it creates progress for us. So the correction improves the path and the adjustment creates the progress. But sometimes that adjustment sends people into a whirlwind like, oh, I can't deal with this. It's not about dealing with this. It's about dealing with one thing at a time. Number 24, guys, understanding builds slowly. Clarity compounds over time. Clarity compounds over time. And I think that's something that many people don't understand or appreciate, that clarity becomes better over time. Not that it's going to happen overnight, not that it's going to happen in 5 minutes. We gain understanding about something today. Tomorrow, we might get more insights. I'll give you a perfect example. I was recently given a gift. Many of you guys know I just became an author. And one of our good family friends actually gave me a pen to start signing my books because I was thinking about that. And when I first got this at lunch the other day, I was like, how do I use this thing, right? Because I wasn't sure. So it came with cartridges and stuff like that. And then there was other parts. And then I realized there were 2 parts to the pen after later on the day. I'm like, oh, wait, there's a way to use this pen with ink that's like through a well. And then there's a way to use this pen with cartridges. But that connection didn't become real for me until a few hours later. I went back. I'm like, oh, wait a minute. Now I see how this works. This is meant to be for this, and this is meant to be for that. It seemed weird in the beginning, but then I suddenly made that epiphany. I made that connection. Number 25, guys, awareness opens opportunities. Options will expand when we become aware. When we become aware, our opportunities open. Our mind starts to pay attention to the task we're doing and saying, are these tasks creating value in my life? Yes or no? If they're not, we stop doing them. Number 26, guys, direction becomes clearer. When that happens, guys, confusion reduces. So when direction becomes clear, our confusion just kind of minimalizes things. And that's good. But too many people expect the confusion to disappear overnight, and they don't even know. I'll give you a perfect example. First time I got my calculator, okay, a fancy little engineering calculator. And although it's a very straightforward calculator, there's a lot of functions in it. Just turning the thing off is not simple. You have to hit shift and you have to hit the word off. So as I started to grow more with the calculator and use it, even things like how to use the mod feature and how to get into different numeric function menus, it's not like a typical calculator. And it has like, I think it has, if I turn it on, it has, literally if I go to menu, it has A through K. And there's even a spot on here called conversion. If I go in the conversion menu, there's a conversion utility located in the run menu through options 6 and 1. So if I go back to the menu, so run the menu through option, basically run the action through F6 and 1. So I'll go back here just to show you how this works. But this little thing like this, you wouldn't expect this to work like this. So I'm in the menu and it says the conversion menu is located in the run menu through the option key F6, F1. So I remember how this works. I will go to the run menu. I will get out of here first. Menu. I will go all the way back to the top, the run matrix menu. I will go to the F6 menu. Okay. And then I can go to 1. Which is pretty cool because now that I know how that works, I can easily execute different functions. But the first time I picked up this calculator, I'm like, oh, wow, there's so many options. There's so many ways to do things. But the key is to realize you don't need to learn everything in 5 minutes. You don't even need to learn everything in a day or a week or a month. Learn it in your time. And suddenly I'm like, oh, wait a minute. These features are starting to grow on me. Number 27, listening changes outcome. The attention shapes the results. So listening changes the outcome, and our attention to it shapes the results. Number 28, guys, guidance shapes decisions. Insight informs choice. Insight informs choice. Trust improves clarity. Resistance blocks understanding. Resistance blocks understanding. When we are resisting something, our mind is closed. We're not open to any inputs. Think of it like this. If any of you guys remember writing to either a floppy disk or maybe some of you remember writing to a cassette tape, I know this was many years ago. If the read-write tab on the floppy disk was, let's say, there's like a little tab there, right? And if that read-write notch, okay, on the disk is there, okay, then it can not only read, but it can also erase the disk. But when you put the tab over it, it now sees it and it's able to write to it, not just read it. Same thing would happen with your cassette tapes. There would be one notch on the left, one notch on the right. The left on the left would be on this, the first side. Notch on the right would be for the other side. And so there'd be a little tab you could break off. When the tab is broken off, you couldn't write to the tape again. Simple fix, take a piece of tape, and you're good to go, and you're able to, record to that tape. Number 30, guys. Direction becomes destiny. Awareness will always define the outcome. But too many people get upset because the outcome is not what they expect right away. Okay? It's not what they expect right away. And there is a reason for that. It is because people think it's just going to happen like that. They don't appreciate that life has a gradual progression in it, all right? And ladies and gentlemen, when you finally listen clearly, what you need to do becomes obvious. It's no longer difficult anymore. It becomes so simple, as easy as you breathe. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is where real direction begins. But my question for you, ladies and gentlemen, is if you are not getting to that point, if you're not able to start, let's look at a few things. One, are you resisting? Do you have an open mind? Or is it the fact that if your mind is open, but yet you're not paying attention, you're not being aware of things? You can have an open mind, but if you don't choose to be aware of something, it's not going to sink in. So these are important things to understand. When we connect a realization to something you already know, let's say you're great at playing basketball, and the person I'm talking to plays basketball really well, but they don't know anything about, let's say, chemistry. I can compare basketball to chemistry by saying, look, in basketball, you have something called defense, right? Well, in chemistry, you have a defense as well. You have to make sure your lab is set up in a way that you are defensive so that you don't get hurt. You see how I compared that little analogy, right? There's also something in chemistry called focus. You have to focus on what chemicals and what order you are performing them in so you don't have an explosion. In basketball, you need to focus on who has the ball, who the ball is getting passed to, who's open, who's not. A little different perspective, but it's still focus. Yeah. So these are very important topics. And again, they're subtle, right? So this whole master topic for the week, ladies and gentlemen, in case you did not get it, I'm going to tell you right now. The topic is when direction changes because truth gets revealed. Okay. But when guidance comes from a higher signal, that's when we tend to listen, right? When we believe it's coming from our creator, when we believe it's coming from somebody we trust or we know, that's when we actually decide to do something. Why is it that we don't listen before that? I think the reason we don't listen before that is very simple. I think it's because we don't have enough trust in ourselves. And that trust in ourselves can make a huge, huge difference. Ladies and gentlemen, I am John C. Morley here, proud author and many other things. It is so great to be with you. If you have not had a chance, please go check out my book at believemeachieve.com. Available in the hardcover, available in the e-Kindle, and available in Audible. I hope you guys have a great rest of your evening. Have a great beverage. And why not enjoy some almonds? Has a lot of health benefits. Have yourself a great one, everyone. And remember, the power, the signal. When guidance comes from a higher signal, we tend to pay attention. Have a great one, everyone. Be well.